What's going on, Internet? Iron Jordan here. So today we're going to be diving into OP-02 content, starting with the deck that I am the most excited for, and that's Smoker. Black is a new way, a different way to play the one-piece card game. It's a little similar to Purple in the way that it wants to attack your opponent's board. You are, for the most part, using the key mechanic of Black to reduce the cost of your opponent's cards and then KO them based on them having a low enough cost. So, to fulfill that, what we're going to do is that we're going to go over the deck list. It's going to be a little similar to Purple. This is basically the standard deck list that you're going to see if you look at any of the Asian Set 2 deck profiles. There might be a couple of things that are a little bit different. There are some tech choices that some people don't completely agree on, but for the most part, this is going to be a pretty standard list for Smoker. I do want to give a little bit of a disclaimer as we go into set 2. Product is still not going to be exactly where we want it to be for people to get product readily. In my opinion, I do not think that product is going to be commercially available wide, like, completely available and just like, oh, I can walk, you know how you can walk into your local game store and buy Magic or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh at any time. I don't think that One Piece is going to get to that point until around set 4, which will probably be for the West, will probably be later, sometime later this year. So be patient. Products is still going to be scarce, but Bandai will fix it. I will continue to preach this forever. It might not happen in set 2. It might not happen in set 3 even. And it might get worse before it gets better. But it will get better. That's what I believe. So this deck, with that being said, is going to be kind of expensive. You need a lot of SRs. You need a lot of secret rares. For this deck in particular, you need 3 SRs from set 2, and you need a full set of them. And you need a full set of one of the secret rares from set 2 being Kuzan. So this deck is going to be probably the most expensive deck in One Piece. It's going to be pretty similar to what Law is now, if not even more, because Law needs the 5-drop Laws, he needs the 3-drop Zoros, he needs Jet Pistol, all that other stuff, right? This is going to be pretty similar to that. But it's a very powerful deck. It's a very powerful deck, and it doesn't change very much going into set 3. And so once you have it and you're invested, you're in at least probably for the rest of this year. So that is, a little bit of a disclaimer about this deck. So what are the engines that we have in this deck? Well, first of all, we have our blockers. Just like Purple, just like Kaido, we're playing 8 of our 2-drop blockers. Black does not have a 1-drop blocker yet. We might get one eventually, just like Purple might get one eventually. But we have 2 play sets of 2-drop blockers, so 8 blockers. We have a bunch of 2K counters. I'm running 10 of them. That's a little bit less than what Kaido usually runs, but we also have more combo power spread out throughout our deck than Kaido usually does. Also, we have a lot more replacement effects, and we have, I think, a little bit more of a tempo-y game plan, on top of the fact that we also do not have to see Onigashima for our game plan to go. So the cards that are going to allow us to get a little bit of tempo, first of all, are the Helmeppo and the Kobe. These are 3-cost cards that they could be played on turn 2 if you're going for. They could be played on turn 2 anytime. Kobe is discard card, KO something costs 3 or less. Helmeppo is when attacking, give one of your opponent's characters -2 to their cost, and then if there's a cost of 0 in play, this character gets 2,000 power. So he's a triggered card that plays himself for free out of your life. He's a 3-drop that is always a relevant attacker, and also he does the thing that Black wants to do, which is reduce the cost. Your 2K counter cards, you're mostly never going to use these, but the Monkey D. Garp can be used as a relevant attacker and as a KO spell. Whereas Suru can also be used kind of like the way Otama is used in Red to minus the costs to make it easier to KO some things, right? So obviously Suru with Sakazuki can KO something of 7 costs, which is pretty good. Next, we have our mid-range threats, and that's going to be the Kuzan, the Borsalino, the Smoker, and the Sakazuki. Kuzan, on play, draws a card. When he attacks, he gives one of your opponent's characters -4 cost. Borsalino cannot be KO'd during your opponent's turn by skills and gets plus 1,000 power, is also a blocker. So he's essentially a 4-drop 6K blocker that can't be KO'd by skills on your opponent's turn and has counter power. He's very above rate, as is Kuzan and Smoker and the Sakazuki that we're going to talk about. But Specifically, you do have to be careful when you're playing against red, and especially when Ace comes into the format in set 3. Borsalino still can be KO'd during your turn by one of your opponent's effects. So if you hit a jet pistol off your opponent's life, they can still kill it on your turn. Smoker, this comes out of the starter deck, as does the Suru and the Impact Wave that we're going to talk about. This card's just the best 5-drop for black right now. It can't be KO'd by skills at any time and is usually a very big double attack threat. Sakazuki, 6-drop, discard a card, KO something 5 or less. You can't ask for more than that, and he's a big body. Very good. Then you have your in-game bomb and Kuzan. This is the card that you're wanting to play every game. You play 4 of him so that you can see him. You play 4 of him so you can stack him because his effect stats. And he's just a massive lad. He comes in, he kills something that costs 5 or less because he reduces everything by 5, and then he kills something that costs 0. He can stack with all your other effects. This and then a Sakazuki on board can kill a 9-drop Kaido. It's just very good. And then Impact Wave is your standard 2-cost 4K counter, except for it kills something 3 or less, and if you hit it off your life, it KOs something 4 or less. So this is the basic Smoker list. It's a pretty straightforward deck. You are playing you're playing what is essentially Jund. You're playing a guy that does something, and then you're using that advantage to win the game. I'm really excited to play this deck. I think the mechanic is very, very fun, and I can't wait to play a really sweet board control style, even if I don't like the Navy in even if I don't like the Navy in One Piece. Like, I hate Sakazuki, I hate Borsalino, but the rest of these characters I kind of like. I like Garp, I like Kuzan, I like Kobe, I love Smoker. So, getting to play this deck is going to be really fun, and I'm very much looking forward to acquiring some of these cards this weekend at pre-release, because we are just right around the corner from OP-02, and I hope you guys are as excited as I am, and I will catch you in the next video.